I wanted to share a bit about my day and how I am allowing myself to shift out of perceived limitation and fear into possibility and awareness, and how we can be in flow and not even realize it, and quickly dismiss that, and then shut our energy down and dim our light because our process and our awareness and our expansion doesn't necessarily look the way the ego mind would have it look, right? So I had a cervical biopsy that I had earlier today, in addition to an ultrasound for a lump that I found in my boob. And yes, I have lipstick on because I want to feel sexy in stirrups, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, whatever makes you feel sexy. So I went in with a very open mind. Now, mind you, I've been on a spiritual journey with incredible access to tips, tools, wisdom, divine guidance, light. I know how to shift into higher frequencies. And even within all of that, within this sacred container, my human self felt very scared and very angry. And, why is this happening? This is so inconvenient. And, finding myself getting angry at, finding myself in this situation, right? And anticipating this horrible outcome. And I realized, why does this have to be a bad thing? Why do we label things as good, bad, right, or wrong? What if it simply just is? What if it's simply another opportunity to expand into more of who I am? And so I set the intention, to be grateful and gracious to the doctors and the medical facilitators and the nurse practitioners who were simply there to hold the space as messengers to reflect back to me potential blind spots that I might have, which is really why all of this is happening in the first place, right? So when I found the lump about a month ago, I was guided to do a self breast check, which I thought, okay, this is interesting. I mean, I should be doing it. I haven't. And so I was guided to, just feel myself in a very specific way. And immediately I freaked out and I thought, oh my God, oh shit, why is this happening? And your mind starts racing and you go to all of these horrible scenarios and you start thinking about your mortality and you just spiral. You go down the rabbit hole emotionally. And then I couldn't even look at my body the same way for about a week. I literally just freaked out. I was very resistant. I didn't want to go to the doctors. I just wanted it to go away. But that's being resistant, right? And when we're resisting, we're giving energy and fueling the very thing that we essentially don't want. And so I went inward and I journaled and I asked my higher self, why is this happening for me? And I tell you, this is some of the most profound, life-changing wisdom that I am applying to my life practically. And I am seeing tremendous, tremendous shifts in my energetic field, in my emotional body, spiritually, mentally, and even in my physical body, despite the lump and the biopsy. And I just asked my guidance, why is this here? And my guidance said, what if this is a lump of love? Why do you automatically assume that this is an antagonist? Why do you assume that your body is working against you, or you've done something wrong, or this is going to create some incredible, unwanted hurdle, and you're going to have to, prove yourself and struggle through some scenario that you're creating in your head? What if you just breathe it in, thank the lump for showing you that there's something here that you've been missing, something that you've been dismissing, right, in yourself. And then I was guided to simply just touch the lump, right? It sounds so simple, but I was so afraid of my body. I was rejecting my body. I've been saying for years, my boobs aren't big enough, and if only they look like this. I mean, right? How many of us go to the mirror in anticipation of what's wrong, instead of going to the mirror in reverence for who we are and for this temple and this vessel? And this isn't meant to be esoteric bromides. It's the truth. We shame and blame ourselves all the time, and we're so hard on ourselves. And I think this is just my body wanting me to surrender into the truth of who I am. Just surrender into the goodness, into the magic, surrender into deeper levels and layers and truths of love and your divinity, rather than this false, distorted perception that you've created. Let that shit go, right? It's teaching me to be in flow and to relax and to trust and to receive. But it doesn't feel that way to the ego mind, right? Because the ego mind's going to say, well, who the hell wants a lump? I don't want to deal with this. Now I've got to pay to go to the doctor. And, what if this is something really terrible? And, I don't have time for this. And this is not what I'm creating for myself. And all of the things that the ego mind says. And, when I got the guidance to just touch the lump, right, it brought me to tears, because where have I been so afraid to just feel the majesty and the preciousness and the beauty and the life that is this physical temple, this physical vessel, right? How many times do we go to the mirror and we hate what we see? And that's all just a story, right? Everything is just a story, and we are the storytellers. And what are we going to start telling ourselves, telling about ourselves, sharing? So I decided that I would bless the doctors and see them as messengers, see them as active participants in the sacred container that my higher self has created, that is being provided to me, that is reminding me to be at ease, to go with the flow, to be present in my body, to breathe, and to receive messages about what wants to be let go of, right? What can I know, be, receive, or perceive? What can I allow, let go of, right? Be aware of, all of those things. And really, they were just reminding me again of my blind spots in their own beautiful way, without necessarily realizing that's what they were doing. So, I listened to meditation music and whatever our process is, right, to try to calm ourselves down and center. And I just went in and thought, I'm just going to surrender and allow. And thankfully, the lump is of no concern. I do need to go back in 4 months and, just recheck it and make sure that all is well. And the doctor was so lovely and so beautiful. And she said, well, you know what? I'm not going to charge you the full amount for this procedure, right? In flow. And I just moved with ease from one appointment to the next, all the while loving myself and asking, what is this here to show me? And then I went to have the biopsy, and it just was such a wonderful feeling of, I'm going to be okay. All is well. I'm here by myself. I have wonderful, wonderful friends who have been supportive, who've checked in on me, asked me if I needed anything, who've offered to, chauffeur me and to be with me and to hold my hand if I needed. And it's so beautiful, right? We aren't taught how to receive. We aren't taught to feel good and to feel complete and to allow in massive amounts of love. We're taught that that's selfish, or that detracts or takes away from somebody else, and it doesn't. We spend so much time doing and proving and moving from one, idea and manifestation to the next, and and motivated to do this and that and the other thing, which really comes from a place of lack, right? We're typically motivated to fix something, to change something, to shift something, to make something better, to correct something. And we think that by manifesting the thing in tangible physical form, that we'll feel better, that we'll be whole and complete, that we'll prove ourselves. No, that's all old paradigm, right? And it does feel scary to let that go because society's built on that. But what if we can just start to really breathe and receive and allow the support? I invite you to look at your own life and where can you ask for, invite support and abundance in whatever forms it comes in: money, hugs, friendships, opportunities, divine downloads, a beautiful meal, a card, a smile from a stranger, right? Abundance is just, it's everywhere. It's ubiquitous. It's the fabric of who we are, but it's attuning our mind and our hearts to be able to recognize it when it comes in a different package or a different form than what's marketed or what we're taught to look for. And I want to thank all of the doctors for holding the space for me to really just explore and discover, what's happening for me. You know what? It's okay. I can go to these 2 different doctor's appointments and just trust that all is well and all is for my highest and best. And whatever the outcome is in this moment in time and space, I'm going to shift and move and float down the river on my lily pad and be at ease. And I have friends and support. And even though I'm physically here by myself, it's okay. It's okay because I can learn to trust that I am enough. I can learn to trust myself and comfort myself, right? And it's okay that I'm single and I don't have a partner to lean on or share this with. That's okay, right? I haven't done anything wrong. All is well. And it's just been a beautiful, 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 beautiful day of really shifting into greater levels of love with myself. Yeah. And just seeing how I'm in flow and I'm shifting and moving with ease. And so where in your life can you let go of the story and the judgment and the labels and the qualifiers and start to shift out of good, bad, right, or wrong and just let something be? How is it serving you? Right? What is the blessing here? And you may not get the answer in 5 minutes. You may never get the answer, but it's more of an energetic feeling state. That's more of the awareness that we're going for, the times that we're in, what we're being guided back to is our frequency, is our vibration, is our divine sovereign signature. How can you allow more of that? How can you discover more of that? How can you dance and play in more of that frequency? Because when you are in an expanded state, you're shining your light. And when you shine your light, you are seeding potential and possibility for other people. And there's a vibrational resonancy that happens. And others start to open up their systems and attune to that and ask, how is this possible for me? I see this, because we tend to need to see things to believe that they're possible. And when you can see somebody thriving, you know that it's possible. And then you start to ask for that for yourself, right? Or you ask for the tips and tools to help you awaken to deeper levels of that inner wisdom and knowing and expansion. And, perhaps this video is really just a call to love yourself more and to start to really thank your body for the messages, right? Your body's a messenger. It's a guidance system. It's a roadmap, if you will, to what's going on. So this lump in my boob is a lump of love. It was a blind spot just showing me, hey, Megan, why don't you start just loving the shit out of yourself? Maybe everything's okay. Maybe all these stories that you create in your head, all these problems, it's just a story. Are you ready to let it go? Right? Doesn't that feel better? So I am wishing everybody health and happiness and love and delicious discovery what's possible for you, what's showing up for you. Thank it, love it, question it, work with it, staying open, of course, without judgment, and really allow yourself to receive. Allow yourself to receive and feel good about receiving, because receiving is giving and giving is receiving without an agenda, just simply because you're expanding, you're sharing the energy, you're circulating, right? That's why we're all here in physical form, is to expand and explore more of who we are. That's my belief. And there's nothing wrong with wearing lipstick and feeling sexy while you're in the stirrups, for those of you that find yourself in that position, whether medical or otherwise. Just have fun with it. Start to play and get curious about what's going on, right? And just take it one step at a time. Love to you all.